Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, it's a sad day, even though it's May the 4th be with you day, and the Clone Wars has finally come to an end. The very last episode, Victory and Death, showcasing what happens to Ahsoka and Commander Rex, Darth Maul in the very last episode of Clone Wars. No more. I'm so sad. It's been a great last season. Let's take a look through the last episode and see what happened. Well, the episode opens on the Star Wars Clone Wars graphic to some very somber music, almost like sort of funeral music. It's sort of chanting, very depressing music here to kind of, I guess, imply the death of the Republic, the death of the Jedi. Order 66 has taken place. The Empire's taking over, and it's the death of so many different aspects of the Star Wars universe. Well, we pick up on Ahsoka and Rex where we left them locked in the medical bay with the clone troopers trying to break in to assassinate them. They manage to break out and stun a whole bunch of troopers. A significant part of this episode is Ahsoka and Rex on the run. They're deflecting blaster bolts and stunning troopers and trying to get themselves to the hangar bay so they can get a ship to escape the Republic cruiser. Now next what happens seems rather an extreme move on Maul's behalf, which is to pretty much take out the hyperdrive engines by just completely collapsing them and crushing them and basically laying waste to the whole engineering section of this Republic cruiser in order to, I guess, have it drop out of hyperspace so that he can escape. Pretty extreme move just to get it to drop out of hyperspace, and he takes out quite a few clone troopers in the process. Rex and Ahsoka manage to make it to the hangar bay, only to find a whole platoon of clones blocking their way and standing in between them and getting themselves onto a shuttle and off the ship. But at least Ahsoka and Rex have the 3 droids still, and they put them to good use trying to unlock certain aspects of the ship and to get the hangar bay ready and to find out why the hyperdrive's not working, thanks to Darth Maul. And it looks like the Republic cruiser is caught in the gravity of this planet. It's being pulled in. So the clock is definitely ticking for Rex and Ahsoka. They've got to get off this ship before it crash lands into the planet's surface. So with the entire platoon of clone troopers standing between them and a ship out of there, Ahsoka kind of admits defeat. There's too many of them to fight. She says she doesn't want to hurt them. Rex is saying they're going to kill us. He's emotionally torn as well as to what they can possibly do. It's a really touching scene between these two where they really kind of realize that they're stuck. They can't get out of there without killing their whole squad of brothers in Rex's case, or, you know, loyal soldiers in Ahsoka's case, and all seems completely lost. It's looking like they might have to surrender. It's a sad moment between these two. It's an emotional scene. But Ahsoka has a plan, and it's an oldie but a goodie, and it's the old fake prisoner routine. Rex has Ahsoka at gunpoint and he's delivering her to the rest of the clones, pretending that she's been captured. Anakin kind of played it in the very first episode of the Siege of Mandalore arc where he kind of, you know, pretended to surrender to the battle droids. And Ahsoka's pulling this same move now. So it's kind of bookending the first and the last episode of this Siege of Mandalore arc with a similar tactic. So Rex tries to plead with Jesse to say, hey, well, we don't need to kill Ahsoka. She's not a Jedi anymore. She kind of left the Jedi Order quite some time ago. So we don't need to kill her. But Order 66 obviously is quite embedded, and the clones have an order to pretty much, I would think, kill any kind of Force user at all, because they're going after Maul as well. So the fact that she's used to be in the Jedi Order but isn't anymore is kind of irrelevant as far as Jesse and the clones are concerned. The droids manage to activate the hangar bay flooring and drop a whole bunch of clones into the level below, which then thins out their numbers enough to be able to escape. Although poor old Rex and Ahsoka can't catch too much of a break because Darth Maul's come in now and he's wanting to steal their ship that they've so kindly opened up for him. Ahsoka does her best to try to force pull the ship out of the sky that Maul's stolen from them, but it's a bit difficult, unfortunately, trying to pull down a starship and deflect the blaster fire that's coming at you from behind from all the clone troopers that are trying to kill them. So unfortunately, Ahsoka has to let go of Maul and just let him go. So to escape the clone troopers, Ahsoka does a pretty cool move by Force throwing her lightsabers into the ground and then using the Force to cut a circle in the floor so that they can just drop into the level below. Meanwhile, the ship is breaking apart, it's heading down for the planet, it's getting pretty close to the atmosphere, they're running out of time. But the only problem with dropping down onto the level below is all of those clone troopers that were dropped to the level below earlier when they got rid of them, they're now on the same level with them. So they've got a whole new group of clones to fight off. But at least they've found themselves a ship and a way out of there. Rex manages to get into the ship, but the whole Republic cruiser is seriously going down. They're nosediving into the planet. Everybody's sliding down the deck. Ahsoka's trying to hang on for dear life with her lightsabers to get something to get a grip with. It's absolute chaos. An explosion rocks the ship and Rex's fighter drops out the bottom of the cruiser, and it looks like Ahsoka has dropped out with it, and everyone's in free fall. Rex is trying to find Ahsoka through all the smoke and debris that's spewing out the back of the ship as it plummets to the planet's surface at a great rate of knots. It's a pretty exciting sequence. Ahsoka finally gets on board just as the Republic cruiser plummets through the clouds and to its doom onto the planet's surface below. But for now, it would seem that Rex and Ahsoka are safe. And now the scene dissolves out into what we assume is a little bit of time has passed. They've had a chance to land on the surface, regroup, maybe gather a few things and bits and pieces from the crashed wreckage, and lay to rest the bodies of the clone troopers that have passed away in the previous fight. It's a poignant moment where Rex and Ahsoka are kind of, they've got the helmets of the clone troopers on display, their graves are clearly buried in the ground on the planet's surface, and the music is quite somber. It's a sad moment where, you know, they realise that just, you know, what has happened and everything has just gone to hell, and brothers that were their friends and allies and fought by their side had become their enemies, and yeah, it's a touching scene. And Ahsoka looks at her lightsaber with regret and perhaps realises that, you know, the Jedi are being hunted down now. She's no longer safe, so maybe the way to keep herself safest is to abandon her lightsabers and anything that identifies her as a Jedi. So she drops her lightsaber in the dust, just the one. Maybe she still hangs on to the second one as a bit of a backup, just in case in some day in the future she's going to need it. But for now, she drops her lightsaber in the dust and walks away from this life that she once led, and that was such a big part of her life. The scene dissolves out, and we get the impression that a passage of time passes here, because it's now the Empire is in reign. A shuttle descends on the planet. We've got snow troopers, we've got stormtroopers now, not clone troopers anymore. And the planet that was previously not covered in snow is now covered in snow. So at least a couple of seasons probably have passed to this point in time. The Empire is going around doing a bit of a cleanup, perhaps, of the last battles of the Clone Wars. And a black cloak figure emerges in the form of Darth Vader, walking through the snow amongst the troops. And Vader approaches the wrecked hull of the Republic cruiser, and he reaches into the snow to find Ahsoka's lost lightsaber. And you can tell from Vader's posture and the way he's carrying himself that he's clearly sad about the passing of Ahsoka. See, he assumes Ahsoka's dead, that she was killed in the crash of the ship. He recovers the old lightsaber, and I'm sure as far as Vader's concerned, Ahsoka didn't make it. And you can kind of feel the sadness and loss here. It's a really poignant and emotional scene, even though, you know, we know Vader to be a villain. Now, having gone through his journey as Anakin Skywalker through the Clone Wars and his relationship to Ahsoka, we can feel a real sense of loss behind the mask here, I think. And as Vader walks away, we're left with the image of his reflection in the visor of a clone trooper helmet with Ahsoka's markings painted on it. This was a really great story arc as the finale to the whole series of the Clone Wars. The Siege of Mandalore 4-part episodes, to me, felt like really much more like a feature film than individual episodic episodes of the series. I think if you actually edited them all together into a 2-hour film, it would be an excellent cinematic experience. It's sad to see the Clone Wars go. I really enjoyed the series. I really wish that Dave Filoni had got the opportunity to do the other episodes. There was a lot of other episodes that were written and prevised and voiced and scored and animated and everything, with the Crystal arc on Utapau, to the Son of Dathomir story with Darth Maul. There was meant to be a whole Cad Bane versus Boba Fett story arc. There was meant to be a story arc that resolved Asajj Ventress's story, with her going off and doing some sort of mission with Quinlan Vos. There was a whole lot of stories that were there which were meant to be part of Season 6 or Season 7 to kind of round out our other characters that we know as well. Even though I'm really grateful that we got this last 12-episode season of The Clone Wars to finish the whole series off, it still would have been great to see these other episodes, because The Clone Wars really has been a great series overall, and I'm just glad that we got these last episodes. So what did you guys think of the last episode of The Siege of Mandalore, Victory and Death? Did you love it? Did you love the last story arc for the whole series? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment in the comments section. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video. Check out my Patreon page and merchandise. Links in the description below. And I will see you guys for the next Star Wars or Star Trek or some other TV science fiction outing that we're likely to get very soon coming up. And I'll see you then.